Well, many unique things happened over the course of the 20 overs, and even just after that, the very fact that you have Virat Kohli coming out for the post innings chat with the commentators itself is an indication that it's not something that's happened before. As a captain, even if he's scored a top innings, it would be somebody else who'd be sent out by the team. But now that he's not captain and he's played a top innings, there he is for that interview, very candid as well. But it was not just about Virat Kohli. Rishabh Pant with a fine finish and a partnership with Venkatesh Iyer, taking them to a mammoth. Looks like a mammoth. 186 for 5, 52 of 28 deliveries for Pant, 52 of 41 for Virat Kohli. And what a kick at the end from Venkatesh Iyer, 33 of just 18. Roston Chase leading the way with 3 for 25. Cottrell started outstandingly, didn't quite get that finish that he would have liked. And 7-run final over from Romario Shepherd. Otherwise, the innings was looking to get very close to 200. Well, here we are on Cricbuzz Live to assess India's innings, see what the West Indies might have in store for a pretty big run chase, joined by Dinesh Karthik and Ajay Jadeja. Ajay, I'll come to you first as the winner of our score prediction. The beauty of this game was that all of us were in it, and you snatched it right at the end, just like in that partnership snatched it away from the West Indies.
Anomaly, isn't it, that I win one of these prediction things? Yeah. I mean, it was there and about. We weren't too far from each other, and that last over, I think, was probably the reason why it went, lower than 190. But it's the usual Indian team score that you'd want. Today, yes, it's been Rishabh Pant and Virat Kohli. The other day was Rohit Sharma or somebody. So when you have an average good day or a decent day, this is roughly where Indian team should be ending up. And I think that's how probably the Indian team feels as well, that they're not under par. They've not, achieved too much. It's just something which is probably par for the day.
Yeah, you can have a look at what happened in that partnership in the end. And one of my favorite parts of the Cricbuzz app, there are many favorites, is the breakdown of overs at the end. Very colorful, very informative. And from the time Virat Kohli departed, if you have a look at that from overs 14 onwards, in fact, from the 15th over, 14, 15, 13, 12, and 15 before that last over, DK. And that's what gave them that big kick. It could have been more than 12.4 had Romario Shepherd not pulled that 7-run final over.
Yeah, it doesn't happen too often, because obviously when you lose wickets and when you're probably a couple of all-rounders and you don't want to, try too many things, but also goes to show that both of them batted really well, Pant and Iyer. We all know how talented they are. So it was good to see them taking Indian team to a par total in this ground in the wicket that they've given today. Looks a fabulous wicket to bat on. So it's going to be a very, very interesting chase.
Yeah, I'll just stay with you, DK, on this one, because we talked so much about Venkatesh Iyer and a different kind of role he has to play for Team India vis-a-vis what he played for Kolkata in the IPL at the top of the order. But it just showed that he knows he's not going to get that 1 or 2 slot for Team India, but he's adapted so beautifully here and played that perfect kick at the end.
I think so, because last game it was an opportunity for him to finish the game off, and he did it beautifully with Surya. This game again to obviously set a good total, and again he's grabbed it with both hands. And I think the shots that he played were obviously, you can see he's got the skill, he's got long levers, he's somebody who picks length well, he's somebody who strikes the ball at the right opportunity when it's given to him. He seems to strike the ball at a good place. So technically he has the fact that he's very tall, he has those long levers going through the balls, and that helps him, enables him to get the pull to various parts of the ground. So he batted really well yesterday.
Ajay, if Venkatesh Iyer grabbed the opportunity with both hands, Rishabh Pant grabbed the opportunity with one hand.
Yeah, and he answered me that, I can hit better when I hold it just with one hand. Today was fabulous. I think more than, the skill, I think what I admire the most today is the temperament that he showed. Yes, he got lucky with that first ball boundary. And I said that the other day as well. Guys batting at 4, 5, 6, 7, when you start off with a boundary, you have a couple of balls to, take your time and you get into a better mind frame. But, throughout those 28 balls, I think he was in a perfect mind frame. And once he joined Venkatesh Iyer, the other problem that I had with him was, he thinks that he's the only one who has to hold the innings together or strike at a certain pace. Today, he did that as well. I mean, he played with his partner. They played as partners, and the numbers that you talked about, 17, 18 and 19th over, 15, 12, 16, whatever, 35 balls, 76, is not just dependent on Rishabh Pant. He's at 17 ball 36, but he's had a partner who's got 18 ball 33 as well. What that does is that, it takes the pressure off a batsman and puts the pressure back on the bowler, because, it's not only you who has to hit big shots or, the boundaries, fours or sixes, but so now the bowler can't play with you. I mean, he can't just give you a single or try and bowl a certain ball that doesn't allow you to hit a boundary and, bowl differently to the other guy. So it was a perfect situation. And I think he was very, probably the most mature innings that I've seen from Rishabh Pant in the last, 6 months.
And that's, I think, going to be music to his ears, because a lot of adjectives have been said about Rishabh Pant: flamboyant, dramatic, call it what you like, but mature, not always used for him. And I'm sure if he can combine his flamboyance with maturity, India can expect great things from Rishabh Pant. At the other end, the West Indies bowlers, a bit of licorice all sorts. Mix and match. Once again, Roston Chase was outstanding. Romario Shepherd, a fantastic final over, not reflected in his full figures, DK. But they had a few loose areas. One over here from Odean Smith, one from Pollard in the middle of nowhere. So good at parts, but they didn't have the complete package.
True. That seemed to be the story for them today. I think various bowlers tried, 7 bowlers being tried in a T20. You generally see that when you're probably defending a total and looking for a wicket. But in this case, obviously, he's tried various bowlers. Odean Smith, the lone over that he bowled, looked a little wayward. Pollard trying to come pretty late in the game, but, it wasn't working exactly. So I would say that they tried all the bowlers. One of their strengths we discussed was the fact that they all are all-rounders. They bat deep as well. So that also means that they can bowl deep. I mean, they have 7 bowlers easily. So it is good to see. Rovman Powell used to bowl a bit of medium pace. He's the only one who's not tried probably. So I think overall, the bowlers didn't do too bad. I thought Roston Chase again varied his pace, varied his length beautifully. Sheldon Cottrell up front troubled Rohit and Virat a little bit. I thought, not Virat, sorry, Ishan Kishan a little bit. I think the ball moving out for Vishan and the ball coming back in for Rohit. Bowled some good overs up front. But other than that, I think their bowling lacked a bit of sting.
Certainly did. Little surprised I was, Ajay, that, the way Sheldon Cottrell started, I know starting and finishing are 2 different roles, but I just felt that maybe his 4 overs to be completed, but Pollard just decided to have a little experiment with himself towards that time. And his was one of the overs that he took away in his 100th game.
Yeah, he's probably celebrating his 100th game. And when you look at that, you feel that, he's bowled 3 for 20, 3 overs for 20, but he was, 2 overs for 5 for 1. And especially if you weren't going to bowl him towards the end, then, there was a little help right at the top. So not probably at the end. If I had to be very critical and look at, analytically, then I would say, probably he could have gone on with him, especially when he started with a spinner at the other end. So there was no shortage of bowlers in that side. So he could have actually gone on. He'd had 2 good overs. So, this is modern day thinking. This is, we saw one matchup today as well. Off spinner versus right hander. See, suddenly everything changed. So now, if you just look at this stat, it looks like off spinners should bowl to right handers. So stats will keep changing all along. But when you talk of Sheldon Cottrell, I think definitely underbowled, and especially in the first spell. Not too much worried about at the end.
Yeah, something you don't think of until you look at that scoreboard again and again and again. Ishan Kishan, Rishabh Pant, Venkatesh Iyer, none of the 3 went to the off-spinner. It was 3 of India's top right-handers that were dismissed by the off-spinner. Go figure. Hey, we love numbers to be turned upside down, don't we? But the target, let's remind all of you, is going to be a stiff one for the West Indies. Just to finish up on the show, DK, we saw what happened with their bowling. What do you think they need to do different with their batting? A little bit of discipline, but they can't be curbed for too long, can they?
No, I think the key would be how they play the spinners. I think if they want to win the game, they need to play those 2 leg spinners very well. I think that's where they have found it a little hard. And if they want to move ahead in this match and put some pressure on India, then those 8 overs will be very important.
Yeah, and I think what DK said, Ajay, is not just move ahead in this match. If they'd like to move ahead in T20 cricket, period, it's about them playing the middle overs and spinners. In this case, they've got 2 leggies to contend with.
Absolutely, and middle overs are the key. There's not much difference between most sides in the world when you look at the top 5 overs, top 6 and the last few overs. Yes, there'll be a difference of 10, 15 runs at either side, but the middle part is the largest part of this game, starting from over number 7 to 15 if you look at it. So if you don't win the larger chunk, you've got to win both those chunks. which West Indies shouldn't have a problem, right at the top and right at the end. I think wickets in hand, because to play spin, we heard Puran talk about it, that we were probably not in the right frame of mind in that first game, and we thought too much. And I think that's something that West Indies generally should keep a poster there. Think less, feel more.
Oh, I like it. I like it. We'll have it sent to their dressing room before the series is out if we can help it. But big target ahead for them. Can Karen Pollard have a big celebration for match number 100 and take the series alive to the final game on Sunday? Well, certainly his batsmen will need to do a good job. Bishnoi, Chahal will play a big role. Where will Ruston Chase bat? So many questions to be asked. We'll try and answer some of them at the halfway point and the rest of them when we wrap the game. Thank you, Ajay. Thank you, DK. We'll see all of you in Cricbuzz Combox in the 10th over from Cricbuzz Live. That's all for now.